Today we're talking about home affordability, specifically how much can you afford if you're making $80,000, $120,000, and $300,000 per year. But what would your payment actually look like? Today we're breaking down the one number lenders care about the most, your debt to income ratio. But just because you could qualify for a certain home doesn't mean you should. That's why I'll share my rule of thumb to keep you from becoming house poor. By the way, I'm Nathan, helped over 500 families, bought and renovated over 15 units, and mortgage is all I do all day long. All right, if you're making $80,000 a year, which is this per month, this is the kind of home you might be looking at. This is a corner unit, lots of natural lighting, and it could be very tempting because the furniture is beautiful. I wonder if these plants are real or fake, and if they come with the sale. And it comes with a pool. Lenders see that income and say, you can afford a mortgage up to $3,300 a month. That's based on a 50% debt to income ratio, the upper limit most programs allow. Debt to income is simply your monthly debts divided by your income before taxes. But here's the problem. Think about this like your lunch money. Imagine your parents give you $10 for lunch and you spend $5 on pizza. That leaves you only with $5 for a drink, dessert, or what if something goes wrong? Or if you lose your wallet, or what if the pizza goes up to $7? You're stuck. That's what 50% debt to income feels like. That's why I recommend the guide of thirds. This is where your mortgage payment moves towards 33% of your before tax income. So instead of $3,300 per month, that gives you a safer target of $2,220 per month. But you're probably like, Nathan, I can't get anything reasonable at a safer range like that. And I get it. Now notice I called it the guide of thirds, not the rule of thirds. Our goal is to move towards 33% or better over time. Maybe you're at 40 or 45% when you buy a home, but it gets better over time, which I'll cover in the next section. And I want you to prioritize progress over perfection. And this is where knowing where your income's going and your expenses are going in the next 1 to 3 years is helpful. You can DIY or hire this out through a mortgage advisor. All right, but what if your income's higher? If you're making $120,000 a year, this is the kind of home you might be looking at. And according to the bank, you can afford up to $5,000 a month. So that's around $775,000 and 2,400 square feet. So again, a lot bigger space than the other house. And it might be very tempting, right? But we have to apply that rule of thirds. You actually have a backyard, a decent sized living room and kitchen. Remember that pizza analogy. More money means bigger pizza. But if you still spend half your lunch money, you're not saving anything. And remember, the well-paced runner wins the race. With the guide of thirds, this is the home you could get at $3,300 per month. So you still get a house in the same city, but the square footage is a lot smaller at 1,690 compared to the 2,400 square feet. Fortunately, you still get a pool. As you can tell, the interior isn't as nice or as renovated, but you're within the guide of thirds, which means you'll have enough money in case there's emergencies. But this is where things get interesting. I call it the shrinking mortgage effect. If your income keeps growing, that $3,300 payment starts to feel smaller and smaller over time. Let's say you're getting 3 to 5% raises every year. In 2 years, you're making $130,000. 5 years, now you're at $150,000. That same mortgage now feels like 30% of your income, then 25%. And that's exactly why your parents' mortgage looks so small today. And you're like, how is your payment that low? Because back when they bought, it was probably a stretch as well. But as their income went up and their payments stayed the same, it became easier over time. That's the shrinking mortgage effect. Pro tip, if you want to see your income trends, look at your W-2s or your tax returns. Check for the adjusted gross income over the past 3 to 5 years, then average that for the growth. All right, now what about high earners, people bringing in $300,000 or more? That's $25,000 of income. And if you go up to 50% debt to income, that means you could technically afford a mortgage of $12,500, which means you could buy a beautiful house like this in Dallas, Texas at $2.2 million. And again, it's a 5-bed, 5-bath at 4,000 square feet. Again, once I saw these photos, I was like, wow, that is a beautiful house. And of course, the kitchen is immaculate. The bathroom, you got a standing tub and shower combo. It looks like in the master bedroom, you got a fireplace as well. And you even got a fireplace in the kitchen. You got to make sure you're getting your money's worth, right? And of course, if you can afford that mortgage, you got to have an office. So what I like is the builder built around this tree, keeping a little bit of that nature vibe. But even at $300,000 of income, my rule of thumb stays the same. Keep the housing around 33%. That brings your mortgage down to $8,300 a month. This is still a beautiful home, but just without the pressure. I mean, you still get a 3-bed, 4-bath, 3,000 square foot. It's not that 5,000 square feet, but the mortgage is a lot less and it's going to be within your comfort range. You still get those wood tones. You still got the white brick house. You get a little nature right over here, you know, compared to the other house. And yes, I get it. The kitchen isn't as stunning as that $2.2 million house. But one of those things is we're not maximizing our budget. Remember, it's different from what the lender says you could do versus should do. See, look at that. You still get an office, which is great. Not as cool as a fireplace, but technically it's still a fireplace. But I may say this master bathroom is actually a little more impressive than the other $2.2 million house. You guys let me know what you think. And if you're earning over $300,000 $300,000 a year, you've likely crossed what I call critical mass. That's where your income keeps rising, but your lifestyle doesn't scale with it. And that's when the rockets lift off. Your savings accelerate, your wealth compounds. But here's the thing, you don't need to make $300,000 a year to get there. Anyone can hit critical mass. It just takes longer. The key is your mortgage stays fixed, your income keeps growing, and over time you gain the speed. So sure, faster is better, but the good news is critical mass is possible no matter where you start. All right, let's crystallize the learnings. Number one, use the guide of thirds as a target. Instead of using 50%, let's start with 33%, and then make adjustments up or down from there based on your scenario. I want you to prioritize progress over perfection. And number two, understand the shrinking mortgage effect, where your income grows, but your mortgage stays fixed. Number three, aim for critical mass. When your income outpaces your spending, then your savings take off. As always, I try to put everything into making the best videos in the mortgage space. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and comment what you want to watch next. Also, income is one part of the equation. If you're saving up for a home, check out my Smart Saving Playbook video. Click here. I'll see you there. This is Nathan signing out.